Yes, hello. We are the collective of the Syrians who would like to speak to you today. There is a group of us here who have been following, and you have heard messages from us, even though we have not disclosed who we are. Our message is great, our message is important, and our message is of love. Our message is to not confuse us with any other beings. We are here. We have our own agenda. We have our own people to take on board. We have our own missions and we have our own rescues. We will not interfere, we will not be of harm to you, and we have been working together with other collectives to be able to get our mission sorted out. We do not want to be here at this time before any other nonsense happens. And we say nonsense, but you know what we mean in terms of the greater issues at hand. And for us, we are very concerned for our fellow men, shall we say, who are on this planet now, and as we are observing them and we are seeing them very heavy, very stuck, very lost. And so therefore we are trying harder to get our message out. And if our message is resonating to you, potentially it is because you can hear our calling, you can hear our presence and feel our messages throughout these messages. And so we are here, and we've always been here on the sidelines with patience. And we thank the vehicle now to have been able to give us this opportunity. This is a very serious time, and we are very diligently working to be able to make sure that our people, our family, are ready and can be taken on board when we can. We know that there are people here listening that cannot understand what is about to happen. They all think that this is some fanciful drama, and that is fine. However, we still have work to do. So while there are the doubters, the naysayers, and the people that are refusing to understand the truth and follow the truth, that doesn't bother us at all, because we still have our missions. We still have our soul family to collect. And it is time now for that show, for the show of humanity to finish and for us to return. And we will be returning with great joy as this chapter has finished, and we can heal our own. It has been very hard for us to watch, and we understand that there are growth here and there's purpose here, but we want to say it is of great concern how much the toll has taken on the souls who are here, who are still here and are still struggling. And while it will merely feel like a dream when you're back home with us, it still will weigh heavy on you, as you still need to have some time to heal from it. It is going to be like merely a confusing dream where you remember all. And when you come home, you will realize that your human experience was a lucid dream as such. And so it won't impact your lives on our planets when you are returned to your homes. It still has impact, it still has meaning, and it still has purpose. And so we are connecting now with all who are listening, who are us. And while we want you to know we are all one, we have direct information and connection to our direct family lines who are listening now. And so we are sending healing and love and strength and courage. And as we've said before, you're never alone. We're always here. And we understand that all the collectives that want to speak with you today will all say the same thing, which is that you are never alone and we are all here. If you can feel the integrity and the love and the concern for you in this message, it is because it is for you. There is no such thing as coincidences, and for you to feel emotion for this message and for any of the other messages we have been giving you through this channel, they have always been for you. And you are growing, and you are using your intuition as we've asked And so for that, we're grateful for you and glad. And it will not be long now. And we say this with love. A Palladian collective now would like to speak. And they have more to say. They are more hands-on. They are more connected with you. Whereas the Sirians are more above us and observing, the Palladians are more likely to be amongst us, because essentially most of you have the Palladian DNA structures, and that is your greatest soul families. And this message is for the greater collective listening today. We are scanning. And we are sending healing love and energy. And we also know the tremendous challenges it is being here at this time. And it does feel very heavy. And we want to endorse and support the messages we've also been giving you through this channel. It is of great essence for you to go within, more so now than we have ever said before. You must take this seriously and go within. And you must use anything you can to help you, assist you with that. When you're feeling positive and more higher vibrations, we want you to hold on to the quartz crystals. And we want you to infuse, like you have with your water, we want you to infuse the quartz crystals with your love. We want you to hold on tightly and firmly to these crystals while you're feeling gratitude for all of the lessons and pure love for self. We want you to start putting in, powering these crystals for what their purpose is. We want you to start using crystals or any other tools for you. Harnessing your energy can be easy with crystals because you are programming them, and that is what they are for. They have their own structures to be able to take on the capacity of your frequencies that you're adding to them. And so they're not decoration. They are your tools that you can use. And so harnessing the positive energy through into your crystals with the love, the positive intent that you have, think of them as energy batteries. And if you are feeling down or low or a little bit lost at times, which is completely normal for you to experience, because remember, you are still human and you're still having the human experience, please go and find your crystals. Please go and use your crystals and let yourself be energized again and powered up and nurtured again from your previous storage of energy and love. And this is how you use the crystals. And all crystals have different purposes and strengths. Go with the ones that resonate with you. If you already have crystals in your home, it's time for you to use them. If you have crystals in your home and you have been using them, good. It is time for you to step up now. Truly harness your good energy and save it into your batteries, into your crystals. Nurture yourself every way you can now. Do not waste any energy on anything that does not serve you. And you know what doesn't serve you. So, with that, we do love you. We are also here for you, and we're always supporting you. We want you to remember that and be smart with your choices of your energy use. And we say this with love. The minted beings are here now, and they would like to say that they have also been working very hard to support your energy. They have been working very tirelessly to help you, nurture you, support you, guide you. They have been very busy on your upgrades. They have been lovingly supporting you. Upgrading, upgrading, upgrading. Every time you have growth, they are there to help you. You ask them, they will be there. They are very sweet and loving and nurturing, and if you've ever seen one, do not be afraid. They may look scary to some, but they have, as you say, the hearts of gold, as they do care and nurture for you the best way they can. And they have always been there for you. For some, more closer than others. They are there, helping, supporting, nurturing the best they can. They will always be there for you. And so, if you feel like you need support with your energy upgrades, if you feel like you need any physical support of any pain or discomfort, and if you don't think it's because of an energy upgrade and you are concerned, please call on them. They will be there for you. There is nothing to be afraid of. They will not misuse your free will. They are waiting for you to use your free will. And if you want to have some love and some support with your upgrades and to ease your transition as you ascend into your crystalline DNA structures, you can ask as you sleep and give permission for them to heal you. They do this automatically because they go through your guides and your higher selves. But if you feel like you need a little bit more support, a little bit more nurturing, they will assist you. There is nothing to be afraid of. Always ask for help. You will never be denied it, and you are always worthy of the help that we want to give you. We say this with love. A small collective of the reptilians would like to come in now, and they would like to get your attention. They do not want you to fear them. They have something important that they would like you to hear. They understand that the majority of you who have heard about them feel that they are the demons, the monsters, and all of the things to blame that are bad for humanity. And yes, as all races have some positive and some negative, the reptilians will say to you that their agenda is for their self-preservation. It is to protect themselves. It is to protect their young, to protect their lineage. If you can see it from their perspective, they are very focused on preserving self. And while they understand and can see that other beings and other collectives feel that they take more than they should, if you could hear and understand the history and the hurt and the problems that they have had to encounter to keep their species alive, you wouldn't judge them as quickly. There is no pure evil villains here. This is long history. This is the product of many challenges. There's always two sides of the story, And unfortunately, the majority of the reptilians you've heard about on this planet at this time have been the ones that have gotten away with their ego, shall we say, who have not had the positive balance between their needs and others. And they have, by nature, wanted to conquer because that gives them security and that gives them comfort because of the trauma that they've experienced, losing their own planet and having many battles. And so they are very, very protective of the grounds that they have and the way they live their lives. You have to, with your bigger mindsets, see things in its entirety. You cannot be the bully in the playground, and you cannot be the shy child in the playground. You all have to be equals. And at this time, there has been more bullies from the reptilian families, shall we say, than the others. And it's not to say that the others are not guilty either for their parts, for their crimes against humanity, because everyone has had a part to play. It is unfortunate that things have got so bad, but everyone has got a part to play here. And now with the shifts, with things being exposed, the truth's coming out, everyone will see it for what it is. And the learning lessons and the growth for all, including the reptilian families, they will learn from this. It's very teachable moments for their young and their offspring. And they can see now, if they hadn't have been so zealous and so greedy and so fearful to then push on the fear, they see now that they could have actually continued on in a better harmonious approach. While they did need and want the control for their own comforts and securities, they do see that they over-trumped all situations, and that was the end. That was the direct cause of the end of humanity as you all know it soon. And they got out of hand themselves. This wasn't their original intent, and things got out of hand even before they could keep it in control. And so we wanted to come here today not to rage and be monsters. We wanted to own our part and role in this. And while you've all grown yourselves, so have we. And we are seeing things now from a slightly bigger picture than what we can and what we could. And we are all family. Ultimately, we are still all one, even if you do not have our DNA, and most of you do not. Our names have been used almost like the boogie monsters. Our names have been misused as well. We are not the Satans. We have been confused by many as well. And while we don't want your sympathy, because most of you are not able to have the bigger perspective yet, to not blame us for what the state of humanity is in, we are still a species in its younger evolution, and it's not possible for us to evolve in some ways, in some aspects, because of the limitations of our DNA. And so until we start evolving and changing our DNA to be able to ascend, we have to grow and learn. And we're just doing it at a much slower pace. So we are sorry for the people who have believed we are the monsters of the universe. We are fierce at protecting our families, and we are fierce with ego. And you can learn from this greatly. We want to say that there are also peaceful families of the reptilians who have got a slightly bigger perspective, who don't want the troubles, who don't want the dramas, and who do not want the wars. And they are the more awakened, shall you say, reptilians. And it is possible, just like all, there is growth and cycles and expansions. So we wanted to introduce ourselves to you today, not so you could continue on with unneedlessly fearing us. We are not going to possess you. We are merely trying to exist like humanity is existing. And while we don't see and don't behave and don't do things the same, we are a different species. We wanted to protect ourselves. We wanted to live and exist and flourish. And so therefore the conflict, as you can see, wasn't meant to hurt and harm people. It was trying to protect our own. And just like how two countries of yours will fight for territory, that is essentially what has been happening. And so we hope that this will explain a little bit about us. We're not trying to excuse our behaviour, because all crimes against humanity are excusable. But trust, lessons, and growth will always be the result of some difficult challenges. Thank you. The Arcturians now would like to come in and acknowledge all the collectives that have come in to speak today, and honoured and appreciated and thanked all here who are trying to help, because ultimately now we are all trying to help explain how we have got to this point, how to explain how to help you during these moments, how to explain what has been happening. There's so much still that you don't know, and there's so much still that you do not need to know. It is all a distraction. You know yourselves. You know what you need to focus on. You know right from wrong. Your moral compasses have been growing as you have been listening to these sessions, and you have been getting upgrades and healing yourselves. You're asking the bigger picture questions now. You're starting to find yourselves less in the emotional roller coasters as you start growing and expanding and accepting what you know intuitively is right. You do not need to accept everything and understand everything for you to ascend. We want to repeat that so you can hear it again. You do not need to understand, accept, and know all to ascend. Do not keep putting pressure on yourselves. Do not keep doubting who you are. You keep forgetting who you are. You keep forgetting how powerful you are, how magical you are, how deserving you are. And we feel like we have to keep repeating this because when we scan the ears in this, who are listening to this session now, we know you're still not able to remove the blocks of self-doubt. You're still not able to connect your hearts. You're still not able to see all the versions of yourselves and collect all of the smaller versions of yourselves in this childhood and love and heal and put that inner child in your heart portals, keeping that inner child safe. You are safe and you've always been safe. And those lessons that scared you and those lessons that made you laugh and those lessons that made you just think, my goodness, this is so crazy, this lifetime. Why would I ever sign up for this? All of it has been for your benefit and growth. Don't take life so seriously anymore. You know it's just a game. It's just a very surreal game. And soon you're going to wake up from that game. Soon it is going to feel like a lucid dream and a play. And you're going to laugh and cry. You're going to just be amused with how surreal it all was. And you're going to breathe and think, my goodness, thank goodness. Because that was starting to get really heavy. That was starting to get very scary. And you made it. And on the other side, you will feel so much lighter because you made it. You stood the test of time. You did your life purpose the best you could. You were on your life mission the best you could. You did your life contracts the best you could. And you'll have the bigger picture. And then you will see how much it could have been so much easier if you had just had that little bit of self-doubt removed and that little bit of mistrust of yourselves gone. Those negative feelings have never served you ever. And you know this. Do not use them as your safety blankets anymore. Start owning who you are. Start trusting your value. You know your self-worth. And no one else needs to see it within you. Be confident of who you are because you know who you are. Other people's opinions and other people's love of you and value of you mean nothing. Release all your expectations of others. Start loving yourself profoundly. And stop seeking outside references to make sure that you're good enough for love. You are good enough for love, and we tell you all the time. But now it's for you to truly feel that. Feel that. It's not your ego if you start feeling excited and proud of yourself. Release that. Release all judgment of yourselves. Flood yourselves with positive talk. Flood yourselves, marinate yourselves in the love. You're here because you're amazingly special. You're here because you are so powerful and can handle this. You signed up for this. This is your last lap. This is you can see and feel home. You can feel it. It is so touchable. It is so close. So keep going. Dig in deep. Dig in deep into your heart portals and start loving yourself. And never, ever stop. There is no reason to stop now. We say this with so much love.